Hi everyone and welcome to NameHero.com. Today I want to demonstrate our VPS cloud web hosting. It's been very popular over the last year or two, so I want to explain and show just how quick and easy it is to set up. So right now I'm on the main page of NameHero, and you'll see us feature our basic cloud web hosting, our reseller web hosting, and then our VPS hosting. So if you're just starting your website, our basic web hosting will be plenty enough to get started. Each cPanel account that gets created on our basic or reseller cloud, it's allowed to have 2 gigabytes of virtual and physical memory. So really, until you start hitting those limits, you don't have to worry about a VPS. But those of you that are developers or agencies and know right off the bat that you're going to need a high-powered machine, that's one of our specialties here at NameHero. So to navigate to it, I'm going to click on VPS Hosting at the top. And now I'm on our VPS Hosting page, and you can see our features, our featured offerings. So each one of these servers is built in real time on our high performance cloud at NameHero. Now that's granted that you check out during the order process. If there's any issue, your order might be delayed shortly just while we get in contact with you if we have any questions about what you're going to use the machine for. But most of the time, these are activated within 30 minutes after sign up. So the most popular VPS we have is this Hero 8GB SSD. This will handle about 90% of our customers who are needing a VPS or a dedicated server. This will handle most all of their needs. Now, if you've got a really popular website, or if you know you're going to need more than 30 gigabytes of space, then you want to look at our other two offerings, the 16 gigabyte or the 32 gigabytes. I know from personal experience, this Hero 32 gigabyte is very good for high traffic WordPress websites. So if your website's getting 50,000 or more unique hits a day that are pretty evenly spread out, this is a great option. Really, anything past the 50,000 uniques a day, we get into the need for some load balancing and clustering and stuff like that. But if you're averaging around 50,000 a day, then that 32 gigabyte is going to be the one for you. If you're getting 10,000, 20,000 a day, any of these other solutions should be just fine. Our 16 gigabyte one here, people like that just because of the 60 gigabytes of space. But as I said, about 90% of our customers that need a VPS, they like this 8 gigabyte server. Now, the 4 gigabyte, it's appealing because it's only $49.95, and that comes with cPanel. A lot of VPS providers, they offer a $49 offering, but then you have to buy cPanel separate. No, that comes with it. The thing about this server is cPanel does take up about 10 gigabytes of your space, so you're only really left with about anywhere between 4 and 5 gigabytes of usable web space because of cPanel. So our 4 gigabyte, that's for those that know they need more than our reseller and web hosting and basic web hosting, but not quite the 8 gigabytes. So we see a lot of people that, for example, those that use click tracking software such as Prosper 202 that know they're going to need more than a basic web host offering. They'll start with this one and then they'll upgrade later on. So that's those of you that are just getting started, but that's why I recommend going with this 8 gigabyte just off the bat, and then you can go up from here. And of course, you can always downgrade, but that's, when we get into downgrading, that is kind of a pain, kind of a little bit of a painful process, but it can be done. Okay, I want to demonstrate how to set this up. So you can see it's going to be in our Lansing, Michigan data center, 30 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and 5 terabytes of monthly bandwidth, 4 cores, and 2 dedicated IPs. So I'm going to click deploy, and you can see the options are all listed here on what's available. And you can see that our monthly billing cycle, we don't offer our VPS servers anything outside of monthly right now. We might change that later on, but right now we do offer these just monthly billing. Okay, so there's a couple things we have to fill out. So the first thing being our host name. So this is basically going to be the name for your VPS. So what most customers do is this is a subdomain off your primary domain. So let's just say our primary domain is websitehero.net. So we have to name it. So I just like to call it, I like to use alpha for the first one, alpha.websitehero.net. So that's the name of the server, and then most of the time your primary domain, or the domain that you're going to be using for your web hosting. Okay, so for root password, this is important because it's got to be strong. If it's not strong, the instant setup will fail. So what I like to do is sometimes I just like to go here and go to password generator and use this site here to generate us a secure password. And I like to go through these a little bit just to make sure there's no characters that I'm going to confuse when I have to type it. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this into our root password. Once again, if you name this password or something, the system is not going to accept it when it goes to provision, and our techs will have to choose one for you. But of course, we'll let you know what that is. Okay, NS1 and NS2 prefix. This is what your name servers are going to be. So it's going to be ns.yourprimarydomain.whatever. So in this example, I'm going to enter NS1. So my first name server will be ns1.websitehero.net. In the second one, I'm going to call it NS2. If you don't know what these should be, just keep it that. Keep it NS1, NS2. 99.9% of our customers, that's how they have it. So name server 1, and it's going to be .websitehero.net. Name server 2.websitehero.net. Next, this comes with 2 dedicated IPs, and this is for your name servers. If you need more, you can see how much more a month it costs. $1.50 for a third one, for $4, $3, and then it goes on up from there. 2 should be plenty. Nowadays, with shared SSL and all that stuff, you really don't need a lot of IP addresses. Monthly bandwidth, we start at 5 terabytes. If you need more, you can always upgrade this later on. I highly doubt you're going to use the 5 terabytes unless you are running a huge media site, but at that time, you probably want to use some external video hosting too, because video hosting is so expensive now with the cloud, it doesn't make sense to pay our bandwidth fees. Okay, backup plan. I like to recommend this. I like to do daily, and I like to retain at least 1 day worth of backup data. Some people like 2. Now, this backs up your entire server every night, and it stores it in a third-party location. You can access these backups at any time inside of the NameHero interface. If you don't have backups, then if something happens to your server, then you're kind of out of luck. So I always recommend at least 1 day backup retention, if not 2. If you're real paranoid, go 4. But I do at least 1 on every single server I've ever owned. I like to have that just in case something melts down, something gets deleted, at least there's a copy of your data. Next, if you want to add additional stuff, so this block storage is very popular. If you have a media site, a video site, or know you're going to need more storage than what comes on these, so you can even order the $49.95 a month server and then add this block storage. You can use this in your public HTML directory. So if you can use it for your images, your videos, or what have you. So a very good option for a lot of extra storage. It's pretty inexpensive. And it's $30 a month for 150 gigabytes. Cloud Linux, it's a popular OS. We see many web hosting providers that want this so they can have a lot of different accounts on their server. Lightspeed Web Server, this is up to 9 times faster than Apache. Most customers do order Lightspeed because this is what our basic and reseller hosting has, and the speed difference is just phenomenal. But you have 2 options here. You can see this is a 2 CPU license, and then we have a 4 CPU license. Basically, this lets you know about how many CPUs that Lightspeed can have access to. So the more CPUs it has access to, the faster it is. Most people have really good luck with just buying the 2 CPU one. You can do that, and then if you have a high server load, if your load's running too high for the number of CPUs, then you can always upgrade it, and that's very easy to do later. So you can add that. I do recommend it. Now, this isn't provisioned in real time. We have to actually physically go into your server and install it for you. But the cool thing about it is you can get started on your server. You can start getting your websites online, and our techs will do this, and they have it done within 24 hours of your server order. Finally, Moorea Database. This is a drop-in replacement that allows you, this is a drop-in replacement to MySQL, and it's a much better performance than traditional MySQL. So I do recommend Moorea. It's a one-time setup fee. Basically what happens is after your server's online, our team goes in, they provision and set it up, and then you're all set, and there's no more recurring fees. So super easy. You can do it yourself too if you'd like. So if you're familiar with system administration, you can do it yourself. But I definitely recommend it because every script that uses MySQL can use Moorea, and it's just a lot faster. So when you're getting those performance benefits, why not? Okay, so now we've got our server. We can look at it, $166 a month. That's pretty good because we're going to have Lightspeed, Cpanel, Web Host Manager, the Moorea Database, or actually it's going to recur at $146. So not bad for a very powerful VPS. It's going to do pretty much everything you need it to do. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and complete my payment and start building my server. Once my server's online, I will go back and resume this video and show you how it works. you complete your payment, it generally takes about 5-10 minutes for the server to build out. Now, if we have any questions about your account, it might not automatically start building. So you want to stay tuned to your email so you can answer our order processing questions if we have any. So that's just something to be very vigilant about. But after you do get online, you're going to see our interface. It looks like this, and this is the main NameHero dashboard, and this is where you manage all your domains and all your hosting accounts and servers with us. We have some customers that have multiple servers and multiple hosting accounts for their business. So I'm going to click right here, and when I do that, I can see Hero 8GB SSD. This is our VPS that we just ordered, and you can see this is our management page for this server. So I can scroll down here, and I can do a number of different actions. First, you can see I can start the server, I can turn the server off, I can reboot it, I can restore from backup, I can view the history of the server, I can add that block storage we were talking about or manage it, manage my backups, and I can also upgrade and downgrade. And finally, if I ever needed to cancel it, I could do that here too. So you can see everything's in here. Now, one of the most important things is the login details. This is for your web host manager. So you want to keep this very secure because this is your root password. So you don't want anyone getting in here that you don't want to have access to your server. So, and that's why we put it in this pop-up. So if you're just sitting around Starbucks, that information isn't out there, so to speak. So you can scroll in here and you can see there's quick shortcuts to everything we just covered, as well as links to your web host manager and cPanel. And we can go down here, and as your server runs, you'll start to, these will populate graphs to show you the load and the bandwidth statistics. But what we want to do is we want to go into Web Host Manager and register our name servers, because that's the first thing in getting our server set up. So what I'm going to do is copy this root password and click on Web Host Manager. Now, when I first get here, I'm going to get a privacy error because it's using the IP address and the SSL has not run yet. So that's fine. We're going to click Advance and Proceed. And this is safe because it's your server and you're not stealing anyone's information because it is your server. So we're going to enter root as the username, and then we're going to enter our password and click Login. At this point, we're going to see the license agreement for Web Host Manager. You can read through it, print it out, do what you need to do. But once you're finished, agree. And you can see there's some additional features that cPanel has. Auto SSL, this is excellent. This gives you free and automatic SSL on all your domains and subdomains. If you've been a NameHero customer, you know we are known for this in our shared and reseller hosting packages. So you want to enable that. If you want to enable PHP FPM, it's up to you. Mod security, I do recommend it. So if you're not sure, just keep everything that's in there. And I just click Save Settings, and it just takes it a second to enable all this. And now your server's online. So now we have to set up our name servers. And once we do that, then we can put our sites and begin onboarding our sites. Okay, so the first thing you want to do here is click on Basic Web Host Manager Setup. There's a couple of variables we have to go through. Now, obviously, you don't want to use dev null because then you won't get any of the emails. If you want, and what I recommend is using contact@namehero.com, and this will make sure that our support team gets any and all alerts. Now, if you don't put us, then obviously we won't know if something goes on with your server and we can't go in and work on it. If you want to add you could put your email, contact@namehero.com. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down, and at the bottom, this is where we are going to set up our name servers. So as you can see, NS1 and NS2 is going to be our name servers. So what I want to do is I want to take this IP here, this is our main server IP, and click Configure Address Records. Okay, so NS1 is going to be our main IP address. So I'm going to click Configure Address Records, and it saves it, and so NS1 is now this IP. So now I've got to go back to NameHero. And if your domain's not registered with us, then you would have to go to your domain registrar and do it on their end. So if your name's registered at GoDaddy, then you have to go over to GoDaddy and register your name servers with them. That's why I recommend registering or transferring your domain to us, because it makes this process a lot easier. GoDaddy and other providers make this more difficult than it has to be. So anyways, I'm going to go into My Domains, and you can see websitehero.net right here. Click on that. And then I'm going to go over here to Private Name Servers and click on that. And now I'm going to enter NS1 and enter the IP address and click Save. That's all there is to it. It was successfully registered. Now I got to go back here and we have to register our second one. So what I want to do is I need to get an IP address. So I'm going to click on IP, And I'm going to scroll down here. I need to see all the IP addresses on my machine. So I'm going to go to Show or Delete Current IP Addresses. Let me just click it again here. And this is why each server comes with 2 different IP addresses, so you can set up your name servers. If just one, then it's not possible. So you can see our other name server is going to be .43. So I'm going to copy it. Go back here. Go back up to Tweak Settings, or I'm sorry, Basic Settings, and click Configure Address Records. And this is going to be the second one. So I'm going to click Configure. And now I have to go back to my domain registrar, in this case NameHero, type in NS2, and then this IP address, and click Save. Now that's all there is to it. That's all there is to registering name servers. This is a very tough thing for some people, because websites like GoDaddy want to put this, they want to bury this because they don't like people having private name servers. They want everything to go through them for their marketing purposes. At NameHero, we're not that big corporate bully. We want you to have your private name servers. We make it very simple and very easy. So now all I would do is go to my name servers for Website Hero, and you can see I've got, using NameHero, I can change these now to my custom. So websitehero.net and ns2.websitehero.net, and I can change them. So now my domain now uses my custom name servers that I just set up. Now, if you don't register them correctly, this thing will start kicking errors everywhere. All right, so now we can go back here, and we can go ahead and create our website. So we just start typing in, create a new account, and you can see now we've got all this in here that we can start creating our domain. So we're going to put websitehero.net. Gives it the username Website Hero. We're going to use the secured password, and then we can scroll down. You'd want to enter your email address. I'm going to enter contact@NameHero. If you have packages, you can add these right here, but I don't have any set up, so I'm just going to set the options manually. I want unlimited disk, unlimited bandwidth, so I'm going to leave all those unlimited. I don't need any parked or add-ons. If you want to, you can add those, but that's up to you. And if you're setting this server up for web hosting, then obviously you want to create your packages so your customers are on the same type of package that you want them to be on. Okay, so finally you can select if you want this to be on dedicated IP. Since it has auto SSL, I don't worry about it. I just use the same IP. I do turn this off. I don't like to give accounts shell access. And we're going to go through that here in just a second. I like to keep shell access disabled and to only use my keygen to access shell. And that's for security. So we can scroll down. You can see we've got some reseller settings. If you want this account to be a reseller, which I don't. DNS settings, we're just going to be the default DNS, which is DKIM. And that's very simple as well. And then we're going to scroll down to mail routing settings. Now, if you're going to use Gmail or a third-party email provider, then you want to click remote. But if you're going to be using the email that's on the server, just click local. And you can go back and change any of this stuff at any time. Say, I'm going to click create. And now my website has been created on the server. So now if I go to list accounts, you can see this has been set up and I've got a preview link. So this preview link is the preview of my website that I just added. So now I have to wait for the DNS to propagate sometimes, and you can see it's already propagated. So we're all set. So the next thing I want to do is I want to walk you through how to set up the SSL. So we'll just go to SSL, we'll search for it, and you can see Manage Auto SSL. So basically every night at midnight, it's going to, or for in this case, it's going to check at 11:31, so almost midnight, and it's going to make sure that every user has SSL enabled since we enabled Auto SSL in the beginning. But if you need an SSL certificate right now, you can just click Run Auto SSL for all users, and we can go to Logs and refresh. And you can see as it runs, it will give you a green, it'll light up green once it's installed. So right now it's just setting up. And so once that sets up, then you will be able to have your SSL certificate. So it takes a little bit. When it's got the plus, it is running. So the auto SSL is running. Give it a few minutes and then you'll have a secure certificate. So now I want to show you how to access cPanel. So now for this domain, you can click the cPanel icon and you can go right into cPanel, which most of you are familiar with this, where you can manage your entire site. So let's say you wanted to install WordPress. You could scroll down here, go to Soft Delicious App Installers, click Install on WordPress, and then we can go ahead and select www. If we want it in the root domain, we remove that. We set up here. make this difficult. Password. Go down and install. It's really that quick and easy. And I've got several other videos on installing WordPress if you need it more step by step, but it's the same for a dedicated server or VPS server as it is a reseller or basic web hosting account. But now when we go over here to Website Hero, we can see WordPress is now installed. We're now set up, installed on our VPS, and we're ready to rock and roll. And we can add unlimited sites. So all we have to do is go back here and create a new account. We can add any domain we want to our managed server. Our name servers are set up, and we did all this in our 30 minutes. We already have WordPress ready to go. We're ready to get a lot of traffic and a lot of hits. But in my opinion, that is why NameHero is the best VPS hosting for 2017. High-speed cloud, instant setup. We have all the features. We're ready to rock and roll. There's not a lot of guesswork. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's not like the old days where you had to order a dedicated server and wait 4 days to get online. You're ready to go right now. And again, everything can be managed right inside of our interface here, from backups to block storage to anything you need to do. Shut it down, reboot it. And of course, our team's monitoring it 24/7. So if something happens, the server gets hung or it goes down, you don't have to worry. Even if you're asleep, we will automatically go in and reboot it and make sure it's good. And when automatically, I mean we actually have a tech that watches things 24/7. So we have someone there. If you go offline, we know, and we're working towards bringing it back online. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Our live chat is at the top here, and we've got our phone number as well. Shoot us an email. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your business. So just let us know what else you need. But other than that, enjoy your new VPS hosting at NameHero.com.